G'day or good night from down under, everyone. Oh my gosh, if you can hear, we've got roadworks happening and I'm really not tired. So I wanted to have a little chat. One of the little adults came over tonight and we was playing some music, and this song came up that I hadn't heard in such a golly gosh long time. Called God by John Lennon. You probably know of it. To me, oh gosh, how can I explain this very simply? It's a very sad song because in a way it's a song where, for me, John Lennon gave up on that inner joy we are born with and that community spirit for whatever he was showing in life. I mean, I think at the time he died I was about 7, so I don't know much about his life. I know he was a great songwriter and he was very empathetic and walked in a lot of shoes and sang a lot of songs, and somehow forgot about the balance that we uniquely have with each other, and saw too much hate and became withdrawn in a way. But then that got me thinking about another song by another great singer, songwriter, and these are just my assumptions and translations of music, I guess, called Murder Most Foul. And in a way, they're completely opposite songs, but they're the same songs. Like, I think John Lennon's God Song goes for 4 minutes 57, and I think Murder Most Foul goes for 16 minutes 57, and Bob's never played it live. I'm not even going to go down that rabbit hole. That's for Bob to explain, or maybe one day he will play the song live. But for me, in Murder Most Foul, in a beautiful, wonderful way, Bob is sort of trying to show that the inner joy of life can be destroyed simply by people being unkind, or a group of people thinking of something and trying to put fear and for another people to kill each other. And then also in the same song, he's got all these other beautiful people in there that suffered a lot, but through their suffering they were able to communicate in their way of arts or whatever, their way of life, to help us through maybe, I think it's 4 generations of trying to understand as teenagers when not to lose that joy for life, and just to try and balance ourselves with each other and try and learn from our overreactions. And of course you're going to hate, of course you're going to fear, of course you're going to go through all these feelings, but maybe it's just about learning not to put it onto other people, because we can't control the way other people think, and they can't control the way we think. So in a way, for me, those 2 songs are very, very important in a lot of ways, because they show how you can sink and hide away from the world just between one person loving another person, and in that way you're sort of losing control of yourself, because you need that love to be dependent upon, and then you can't balance that love between the two with the rest of the community, and then it becomes the gossip and all that stuff and all the hateful stuff, and people trying to put fear into that relationship so it doesn't grow. And to me, that's what that song God is about. And then you've got the song Murder Most Foul, which is the complete opposite. It shows how that love between two people is unique and separate. Like, they're two separate, unique people that try and balance themselves in the world and balance their love for each other without getting sucked in that false safety of two. And not, because whatever happens outside your door is going to affect you in either way. Like, we know that. We live in a world like that since the 50s, 60s. We've seen wars and everything affect us, so it doesn't matter if that love you have with that person, the outside world is going to affect that. So that's my view on those two songs. Anyway, probably spoke too long. Let me know what you think. Thank you for listening, and try and keep safe, everyone, and be kind, and be careful not to let others abuse that kindness that you've got within. Bye.